Moving and securing the fuel bowser. Move the fuel bowser slowly and maintain clearance from aircraft. This is an example of what can happen when you do not control the speed of the fuel bowser and allow it to go too fast. Remember, the bowser can weigh over 800 pounds when it's fully fueled up to the top. And this airplane was damaged when someone was pushing the fuel bowser too quickly and it began to get away from them, spun around, and ended up impacting underneath the horizontal stabilator on the Piper Arrow. So please make sure you're moving the bowser carefully and slowly at all times. Do not run over tie-down bolts in the ramp. And make sure not to park in the propeller arc. Use chocks on both wheels when parking the fuel bowser during or after the fueling operation. There are several aircraft grounding points which you should know. Make sure only to attach the grounding wire to the approved points shown in this video for your aircraft. This is an example of an incorrect grounding point for the Citabria. And here is another example. The location for the Citabria is the main wheel axle mount bolts. On the Piper Arrow, make sure to ground the aircraft on the wing tie-down ring. On the Cessna 206, use the tow bar connection points on the nose gear. On the Twin Star, use the muffler beneath both engines. On the Skyhawk, use the tie-down ring on the wing. Use the fuel mat on the wing. Turn on the electric pump on the bowser before going up to the fuel tank with the hose. Touch the filler port with the fueling nozzle. Make sure to keep it in contact with the filler port during fueling. Keep the nozzle inside the tank when fueling, and make sure not to rest the nozzle on the bottom of the tank as this can damage the tank. When finished fueling, visually look or dip the tanks to make certain that you've put the desired quantity of fuel into the airplane. Turn off the pump after fueling. On the fuel log sheet, write down the date, the registration number of the aircraft, the number on the small recording meter below the fuel quantity indication, both before fueling and again after fueling, and the total amount added to the aircraft in gallons. Here is the fuel meter and the number you should record off the fuel meter. Turn the fuel meter knob to reset the meter back to 0 after each fueling operation. Defueling always requires 2 people when students are defueling the aircraft. Because fuel is refiltered through the fuel bowser filter system, there is no need to use the filtering funnel. Insert one end of the hose into the fuel bowser. The person at the wing of the aircraft removing fuel from the tank then will put the other end of the hose into the aircraft fuel tank. Move the hose in and out of the aircraft's fuel tank near the fuel level to get the fuel flowing. Using a dipstick, as fuel is removed, periodically check the quantity of fuel remaining in the aircraft's tanks. On the fuel log sheet for defueling, write the date, the registration number of the aircraft, the word defueling in the places for meter reading, and the amount of fuel removed from the aircraft in gallons. Fuel spill prevention. The auto shutoff feature of the nozzle assists us in spill prevention. Make sure you monitor the flow rate and slow the flow rate as the tank nears being full. Make sure you do not squeeze the nozzle while positioning the nozzle near the tank or while climbing up to fuel the airplane. If you need help, stop the operation and ask someone to assist you. Fall prevention. Use a stepladder if you cannot comfortably see inside the tank during the fueling operation. The stepladder is kept on the fuel bowser at all times. Only use the designated foot and handholds of the aircraft or stand on the tire of the aircraft if the aircraft does not have foot or handholds. Fuel spill action items. If possible, stop the fuel flow by turning off the electric fuel pump. Notify the dispatcher to initiate chemical spill procedures. Get the spill kit from inside the hangar. This is the location of the spill kit. It is located in the cabinets inside near the door. If fuel has spilled on the aircraft, it will evaporate quickly, so clean the fuel residue on the airplane using soft cloths once the fuel has evaporated. If the fuel spill is too large to be accommodated by the spill kit, the dispatcher will continue the chemical spill procedure and you should evacuate the area. Fire extinguisher use. A fire extinguisher is kept on the fuel bowser at all times. To use the fire extinguisher, utilize the PASS acronym. Pull the pin out from the fire extinguisher handle. Aim the fire extinguisher at the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle of the fire extinguisher and sweep back and forth at the base of the fire to extinguish the fire. If you are unable to extinguish the fire, evacuate the area and immediately notify the dispatcher. Remain at a safe distance and call 911 if the dispatcher has not already done so. Remember that completion of the fuel training program requires that you meet with your flight instructor for a review of all the fueling training. Once this review is complete, your flight instructor will complete the training form, which will allow you to fuel aircraft on your own once you have demonstrated understanding of all of the items covered in this video.